We're all wanting and needing engagement right now. So I'm just going to go around. I'm Jennifer McKenzie, your K-12 district teacher librarian. And to my left is Andreas. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Andreas. I'm the middle school librarian, and yeah, I've done a little bit of Kahoot, but mostly from a student perspective. We did a lot of Kahoot in college, so I'm not super familiar with most of the others. Very little about like Breakout EDU. We just are kind of learning that, but I have a lot to learn.
Hey, I'm realizing that most of the games function the same. Like everything is login with Google and they kind of all follow suit. So Tricia, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Tricia. I'm on my home computer, so it says and Jonathan, that's my husband. I work at the high school in the SPED department. I mostly work with students in math, but I also get to help freshmen with future success and some biology. I work with Terry Mason and with Jennifer Lindell, and I just love being able to work with the kids and try to figure out how to help the connections be made so that they can succeed. So it's my favorite thing. And Andreas, I love your mask. That's great.
Thank you for that. Anna, you're next.
Yeah, Anna Moser. I'm 10th grade World Studies. And I have played Kahoot one time in a staff meeting. And that's it.
Awesome.
I guess I've been making up my own games in the classroom that are not with technology.
It's all good. All right, Melanie, go for it.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I teach 9th graders English and Avid at the high school, and I have done a ton of Kahoot. So except for I don't know how to do anything fancy, I usually just do multiple choice questions on there. So I think it's a really good way to review. And then I did the Breakout EDU twice since it got introduced, so that's exciting. It worked fairly well for the kids that tried. There were a lot of them that just sat there, but it is what it is. I feel like it would have been much more useful in the classroom.
Right. Did you have each kid log in? Did you actually have the kids? Okay, so it was like you did breakout rooms or something like that.
We actually just did it. It was not a super big class, so I just did it. I just shared my screen and we all went through it together.
Okay, well, thanks for trying that out. That's awesome. Yay. All right, Hope.
Hi, I'm Hope, and I'm the library assistant at the high school, and I have used Breakout EDU, and I know a little bit about Kahoot, but that's all.
Awesome. Okay, Mackenzie, go for it.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Perry. I teach 6th grade science at the middle school, and I use Kahoot every class period before a quiz. But again, I don't have like the paid version, so all I have available to me is the true, false, or multiple choice. But I have learned some valuable information just by trial and error through that. And then I tried the thing that Anna shared last time, I think it was like a Book It or something like that, the one that Carrie emailed us. And I tried it and it looks super similar to Kahoot, except there's like a lot more game aspect to it. And so it was like something that would be way more time consuming, but largely the same goal. I don't know, the kids might like it. So I'd be happy to share what very little I found on that today.
Yeah, would you share on that maybe right after Tricia or after I go through a couple other things? That would be awesome. I haven't tried that one out yet. All right, so next is Miss Julia.
Hi, I'm Juliet. I work in the elementary library, and a lot of this stuff is brand new to me.
And that's all good. It's all good. It's new to me too. I was just figuring stuff out this morning for Gimkit. I haven't played Gimkit since last year and it's changed. Terry, go ahead.
Like there's two people. Terry Straley, I teach English and help with the All program at the high school, and I usually use Kahoot for reviews and everything. Kids like it, but that's really kind of the extent that I do.
Awesome.
I
It
didn't
sounds.
figure out how to make Jeopardy with a PowerPoint, but that's really complicated.
Hey, one of my husband's colleagues just did that same thing. It was Jeopardy with a PowerPoint. It sounds like a lot of our kids are getting a lot of Kahoot, and I still hear that they love it though. So it sounds like we've got a lot of Kahoot knowledge. The other Terry, go ahead, and you were like both next to each other on my screen too. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm Terry Mason. I teach special education at the high school. We're using Kahoot in my gen math class right now. And Trish is the one running and operating it. So it's fabulous for my students. They really enjoy it.
It kind of doesn't get old, you know, especially when you use it as a nice little intro or outro. John, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes. Oh, whoa, I was unmuted the whole entire time. John Whistler, 2nd grade. I know my son uses Kahoot in middle school all the time. So I don't even know if it's a thing to do with 2nd grade, but I guess I'll find out.
I think they just have to get to a website and type in a code, and let's always, I love that we always have a K-12 span in these PD sessions, because then we can discuss, like, how do we bring Kahoot down to the littles? Jill, go for it.
I used some Kahoot last year, but I haven't done anything yet this year. I feel like the kids, being 3rd graders, are just, and you do 3rd grade, are just getting comfortable opening up another window or another tab. That was scary for them to open another tab because they thought they'd get kicked out of their Google Classroom. So, you know, we're getting there.
Yes.
I want to play games with them.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your perspective always, Jill. And then Jennifer, if you're with us, go for it.
Yeah, I'm here, but you can't see my room. It looks like Santa's workshop right now. So I'm at the high school, special ed and English, and just looking for some new fun ways to play games with the kids that are content that you can, you know, tie into the content. So. And I lost.
You're muted. Do you know that?
Yeah,
Okay.
you couldn't hear me. Can you all see my slides now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. All right, so I do have just a little bit of, and let me open up a couple more windows before I get rolling. I need the chat open. My husband joined us. He was with us and then he popped out. He popped in and he popped out. So hopefully at one of our next sessions, he'll join us. Okay, so I wanted to start with a little bit of just library info up front. And let me go ahead and change this. And I'm going to pop these slides in the chat. And there is a spot when it comes to makerspace stuff for next week. I have some Google Forms. And I want you to submit to the Google form if you want a maker kit for next week. So I'll get there in just a second. So slides that I'm on are in the chat. They're also pasted to our EdTech Google Classroom. And I hope you all, I never try to bombard you all with information, but the only way I can access all of you is to send you an email. So I'm trying to just email you once a week with library updates, sometimes twice. So anyway, we have done a lot of updating on our website. I just want you all to be aware of that. So this is our library website right now. And to get there, you know, it's the district home page. And then if you go to district home, actually, let me just start from the top real quick. It took me forever to get this updated, and I plan to do, promise you to do a better job in the future. So district homepage, fourth one down, library media, and there we are. And then we have all of our elementary, middle school, and high school Bitmoji classrooms at the bottom. Okay, so just know that this info is being updated. And then here are, these are clickable. So the weekly slides I'm sending to everyone are right there, to include the announcements about the virtual field trip stuff every week. And then our, you know, scrolly s'mores letter is over on the side. Okay, so I just want to share that with you. And then let's see. So here is the slide for Makerspace kits. So next week, Tuesday, we have a PD session just like this one, just like we always do. We're going to be discussing makerspaces. And I've invited Allison French. She lives in Southern Oregon, and she helps run and help founded the Talent Maker City. So it's a professional makerspace in the city of Phoenix Talent. So she's going to pop in and share with us about her journey. And then everyone's going to, if you request the kit right now, you'll get this little reindeer kit. We actually made these little paper circuitry reindeer cards a couple weeks ago, right before Thanksgiving, with all of our 5th graders. So we're going to talk about makerspaces and practice a makerspace activity, which is this kit. So if you want to do that next week, that's this first link right here, the EdTech Makerspaces, and then this second Google form, and you just open them and, you know, fill it out and request say that you want to request a kit, and I'll get it to you. This second one is, so our PD session is on Tuesday the 15th, and then on Wednesday the 16th, it's like Makerspace Mania. We have another Makerspace session, and the whole entire session is going to be devoted to making a handmade watercolor journal. We're going to add some basic circuitry to it, and I think I have enough supplies to share some Peerless watercolor supplies with everyone, which are just these little tiny dye-based films for watercolor. And so this is just oh, actually I have an example right here. I have a live example. Okay, so if you don't know about me, I think most of you do already. I, in my spare time, do art journaling, and oftentimes I make my own art journals and then add circuitry to them, because why not? Oh, that one's not lighting up now. Here's another example. So I'm going to give everyone supplies to make a journal about this size. Well, I always call them recycled journals because I include old book pages and that kind of stuff. And, oh, I have 2 people in the waiting room. Let me let them in. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do a journal, add some circuitry to it, and then I want to send home with each kit, not this many, but these are little dye-based watercolor films. Peerless watercolors. They were originally designed back in the day to hand tint black and white photographs. Okay, and now they're just used as art supplies, but they're so skinny that you can make your own, you know, whatever size little journal, and they're just flat and skinny. They're like the flattest watercolor you can take on the road with you. So if you're interested in that session, please fill out the second Google form right here. So first one is for EdTech PD with Allison French, talking about makerspaces. Second one is that whole entire thing about electric journals. And okay, let's head on, move on. And then just today, I sent home or put in people's mailboxes. Oh, let me find one real quick. I wanted to encourage staff members to make some little Flipgrid QR code ornaments for their students. Okay, QR codes are not new. What is new within the last like 2 years is that to open a QR code, you no longer have to download a QR code reader. You can just open the camera on your phone and aim it at the code, and then you see how that little bubble popped up? Mm-hmm. You can open that up and it'll take you straight to the video. And so there's a little holiday video our library staff made for everyone. And then I want to show you something that is new within the last year. I promise we're getting to games in just a second. So within the last year, can you see my Flipgrid screen now, everybody? Flipgrid? Okay, so within the last year, on any video that you make, whether it's a short or one of your video that a student submits, when you open that video up, on the share, you can automatically grab a QR code right there. You used to have to like take your URL link and go out to a QR code generator and do all that, but now it's built right inside of Flipgrid. So why don't you make your family and friends and your students some little QR code ornaments, especially, you know, we can't see our family members, most of us, for the holidays. So this is just one really great way to connect. Okay. All right, now we're to games. So we're gonna let Trisha take it away and lead us through Kahoot. And I think how most of us as adult learners need to do this is like we need to try it out as a student, and then we need to create our accounts and learn how to create it as a teacher. Or sometimes you can do it vice versa, okay? So that's kind of what we'll do with all these games. Trisha is going to lead us through Kahoot. And then I have ready to show you Flashcard Factory's review. We kind of went over it when we went over Pear Deck, but there's a new feature that I want to show you. You can invite co-teachers into your Pear Deck dashboard, which is really cool. So I thought we could try that one. Gimkit, I think it reminds me of Kahoot, except there's like money and wagering and bets kind of involved. So we can try that one out. Quizlet Live. Has anyone played Quizlet Live in distance learning yet? Okay, I haven't done Quizlet Live in distance learning. So we could try it as a group just to see what that feels like as a teacher and as a student. That might be really helpful. And then I could end with Breakout. You know, we did a whole entire session on Breakout EDU not too long ago, so all the resources are there in our Google Classroom. You know, so we'll give most of the time to Trisha, and then we'll kind of pop through these three, and then I'll answer questions about Breakout, and maybe even Melanie can share with us how Breakout went in her class, and then our library team used Breakout with all the 5th graders as well. Okay, so without further ado, Trisha, I just stopped sharing and now you can screen share and take it away with Kahoot. I just noticed that we have a little ask to unmute thing when you're the host in Zoom. What did it ask? Did it just, you get a message pop up on your screen?
I was honestly looking at it. I have this screen kind of squished and I was looking at another one. I'm used to sharing my screen on Google Classroom. Will this share my whole screen then?
You have the option of doing your whole entire, like everything that's on your second monitor. So you can do a whole screen share, or you can just do a tab.
Second monitor, that would be fun. No, I'm a classified person. I get one monitor, so it's all good. But I will show, I see now that I can pick. This is the one that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, now my screen is doing some funky things.
We see Kahoot right now.
Cool. So this is asking me to log in. I was going to talk you through. I do have some prepared already, but they are for my kids or Terry's kids, and they take like 30 minutes. So it's asking me to log in. I created an easy login to remember, and my computer remembers it for me. But I just wanted you guys to see what it looks like when you see this. It definitely looks different if you make this window bigger. Over here, it shows the ones that I've created. Variables and stuff is the one that we've been using quite a bit lately. And the fun thing about it is that we're using it to go along with where the students are at right now. So I can pull it up. They're working on figuring out what that X stands for and how that works and why does alphabet belong in math. And so we brought in the definition of it. We brought in, and so here I can show my answers. And so you can see it's got 4 answers and you pick the right one. So this is just the one I've been working with. And then if I want to work with it some more, I can edit it. But we were gonna create one really quick. There's always the button right up here by my little guy up here. I can create, and it goes in. Yep, I wanna create a new one. So I'm gonna create a new Kahoot. And it's really just this easy. It really reminds me of like those slideshows that we can do either on Google or the other slideshows, and you just pick any questions. Actually, I always go with a true or false first in my mind, but this is one of it defaults to a quiz question, which quiz up here means that we have 4 options. So a multiple choice question, I'm used to doing math. So like if we're doing really super simple educational math, I would say, or elementary math, sorry, getting my E words mixed up. I could say 2 + 2 equals, and then a wrong answer is 0, number lock 0, because that's subtracting them. 4 is adding them. That's my correct answer, so I'm gonna put that in there. Another wrong answer is 1, that would be 2 divided by 2. And another one is 6. That might, sometimes I like to make it confusing, sometimes I like to make it easy, but you always just pick the right answer with a little check mark. You add a question, and like McKenzie, I haven't paid for anything, so my 2 choices are to do a quiz, which is up to 4 options, or a true and false. And so a true and false is, Kahoot is a fun way to engage students. And then of course that one is true. So I'm gonna mark it true. And then I add a question and then a quiz. Does anyone want to suggest a question that we put on here? This is gonna be our trial one. This could be a vocabulary, the definition, or wait. Let's see, temperature varies with, oh, that's another true or false one. That's the hardest part for me with making my first one, was coming up with the questions and coming up with the answers. And so my easiest one to put together was the one where Ms. Mason had looked on like a Moby Max resource and said, I want my students to work on these questions, and emailed them to me, and I just plugged those questions in. So if you're working on a unit, if you just reviewed a unit and you know, I want my kids to work on these questions, and you just plug them in, it's super easy, especially if they give you the multiple choice already. I'm gonna actually delete this one because I don't want to come up with another multiple choice right now. Yes, I really want to delete it. I want to add another true or false. Leaves.
Hey, can I ask a quick question? Because I think someone mentioned that, you know, free access versus paid access. So with the free platform, we're just getting true and false and multiple choice. Does anyone have the paid access, and is anyone experiencing success with the additional tools?
I just paid for the I think it was like $76 or something like that. And I noticed I created a Kahoot with fill in the blank, so they have to type in, and it was probably the one Kahoot where people did the worst at because they were thrown off by the fact that they had to type it in, and then some of the phones lagged, so they were trying to get it in and it wasn't uploading. And so if you gave them 10 seconds, because it was like a 2-word typed in, you know, I thought it would be easy, but it was actually really hard for them.
Sorry for interrupting, Tricia. So for those of us with free version, we're okay to get started with the free version for right now, is kind of what I'm hearing.
We've found it works fine for us, and the kids who get kicked out or have a hard time keeping it up on their Wi-Fi, we're inviting them to participate via chat. And so they just stay in the Google Classroom, they're watching me share my screen, and they put their answers in the chat, and it works out really well. I have the 2 windows open at the same time, so I see the chat and I see the Kahoot, and I can see if they're answering, and it's awesome. You know, Ms. Mason and I have this awesome advantage where we're both in the classroom. So she's talking in the chat and commentating in the chat while I'm talking out loud and keeping the running vocabulary or out loud commentary going on. And then I'll look and I'll see that she's added something to the chat. So I'll say it out loud. It's awesome if you have a teaching team to do that with, but I've seen teachers do really great at it on their own too. And Alicia talked about the 20-second thing. The default for all questions is 20 seconds, and that doesn't seem like very long, but it does work if a question is really convoluted or if the answers are really hard to read, like some biology unit questions I've seen get really long, then you might want to consider offering them more time to answer. Do take into account that sometimes you want just that 20 seconds, and sometimes you want to be able to commentate, talk about the right and wrong answers at the end, so it can, that's where our like 20 question quizzes end up taking 30-40 minutes because we want to talk about each one. So but 20 seconds has ended up being pretty much exactly right for a lot of our questions, and it goes faster if all the kids who are playing answer right away, then it doesn't make you wait the whole 20 seconds. It says you've got all the answers, it moves on. So it's kind of neat that way too. But that's where it is if you want to change it. And of course you can bring in new images and make it all fancy. I've never done any of that. So I don't know if McKenzie has taken the time to do any of that, but I never have bothered taking the time. So I figure for the amount of benefit that will come from it versus the amount of time that goes into it, it just ends up not being worth it. So I want you guys to have a chance to play this for those of you who've never played as a student. So will you guys kind of fire off some questions for me? Because that's really the hardest part. Will someone give me a sample question? Oh, obviously we're all gonna hear that, so we're all gonna do great. It's just a matter of seeing what it looks like from the student's perspective. And
how many days are in December?
Perfect, thank you. Do you want to give me the answers, the right and wrong ones?
Sure.
Okay.
30.
Ah, see, my number lock keeps turning off on this for some reason. Go ahead.
29. 31, and that one's correct.
Cool.
And 28.
28. Cool, thank you. Anybody have another one?
How about what is a makerspace?
Okay, is that a, that's got to be a,
we can make it multiple choice.
What is a makerspace? What are the 4 options?
Oh gosh. A house.
Cool.
A library. A business.
Okay.
Or any place where you can create. That one's the right answer.
Cool.
In a very simplistic definition.
Nice. Let's do a couple more. Does anybody else have one?
How many books has Julia circulated? I just looked up your data, everyone's data the other morning. You're doing so awesome, Julia.
Is it this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll say 50, 100, 150, or over 700 plus. And that's a correct answer.
Wow. Nice. All right. So now, unless someone has one that they really want to add in there, that's literally all you have to do. And then you just click done. Oh, we can give it a title. This is our class demo. And have yet to put a description in there. It's validating it. It's making sure that everything has enough answers, and it's making sure that I marked a correct answer for all of them. And then you can test it, but we can also play it. So now we're going to play it, and you can choose a sign, so you can actually send it out to your kids to do individually, like during APL time or whatever. But what I've always done is teach it. And so this is where you guys now, and oh, there's the team mode or the classic mode, and I've always picked classic mode. I don't have any experience with team mode. I'm curious if any, I think you'd have to be in person because it's shared devices.
Yeah,
so
you have to be in
one-on-one
person
devices.
for team mode.
And so now this is where you guys go into here, www.kahoot.it, or if you have it on your phone, you go into your app, and then you plug in the PIN number, 705-7591. So you should open up another window on your screen, and then you plug it in, and this is where you guys get to put in whatever name you want. We tell our students, make sure it's school appropriate. I think there's a way to set it so that they can't pick their own, but I haven't explored that. I bet that McKenzie can help me with that, because if I were a middle school teacher, I would want to know.
I can help with, I can tell you that. So
Cool.
right before you click play the Kahoot, like before you have like generate pin, there's a settings, and you can do, there's a little toggle that you can click that's like generate friendly nicknames.
Cool.
And they're all literally just an adjective and an animal, but the kids don't like that at all. They like to pick their nicknames. So like what I have is I give them the benefit of a doubt for a class and let them pick their own until I get an inappropriate one. And if you do get an inappropriate one, you can hover over the name, like the teacher can hover over their name when you're in this screen right here and just send them out, and they'll have to rejoin.
Yeah, because I can hover and it crosses the name out.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
And then I would also say I've done the self-paced Kahoot before. And it's pretty cool. You can set it for however many days you want, and you just give them a link and a pen, and they can do it whenever they want to. And you can see all the results for each kid. And so like what I did with my honors English class earlier this year is we did a Kahoot as a review before a test, but then I set up a self-paced one for them to review on their own, and I told them that I would take it myself and put my score in, and then I told them if anyone could beat my score or get within like 100 points of my score, I'd give them like 20 extra credit points on the test. Nice. So I kind of like made it into a challenge and also like let them get extra credit and some review time in. So
nice. That's awesome. And this is always the point where I say, okay, Ms. Mason, how many more students are we waiting for? Because she's got a better pulse than I do on attendance. In general math, we give them the option of participating here or staying logged into a Celis, because both are able to be supervised by her. So we're always giving those kids that engagement opportunity. We want success. And like I said, if your system isn't working and you want to participate via chat, I can't see where chat is right now, but I don't know if Jennifer can. And
you have it open. Chat is open, and if you hover over the bottom of your screen, those you'll see the things.
I think it's because of where I slid you guys to be able to see parts of my screen.
Yeah, teaching from one screen is really hard, Trisha.
Yes.
The struggle is real for people who still only have one screen. I feel for you. I think we have enough people in to go ahead and play.
Okay. And then it's just, you just click start and then we go. And it tells you what the thing is called and it counts it down. And usually we're rocking out to music. I don't know what happened to that. 2 + 2 is, and then you look at yours and put you in the button that corresponds with it. Is it 0, 4, 1, or 6? And this is where you have to see where the color coding matches. 0 is red, 4 is 1, 6 is green. And the speed will count towards how well you do. 9 got it right, 1 got it wrong. And this doesn't say who got it right or wrong. That's one thing I really like about it. But it does say who answered. We let people know that not only did Melanie answer correctly, but Melanie answered quickly, because Kahoot likes to see how quickly everybody answers. Good job, guys. True or false? Kahoot is a fun way to engage students. Is that true or is that false? What do you guys think? Put in your answers, guys. Blue is true, red is false. The longer it takes, the more clues I give, the more I talk them through it. I keep my voice upbeat. I keep my voice so that I sound engaged. I'm excited. Remember, if this isn't working for you, please answer in chat. 10 out of 10 got it right. Woohoo, way to go. Nice job. The leaderboard is shifting up, but Melanie still has the lead. The next question is, leaves fall off trees in autumn. Is this true or false? Leaves fall off trees in autumn. Is that true or false? And there's somebody who's struggling to answer, or somebody's waiting until the last minute. That's why we're getting our full 20 seconds. Sometimes people like to draw it out because they like to look at what's going on with Kahoot or listen to the rock out music that I don't know why we're not hearing, but somebody else might know how to troubleshoot. All right, McKenzie and Siuslaw, they traded places in that one. How many days are in December? Is it 30, 29, 31, or 28? What do you think? How many days are in December? 30, 29, 31, or 28? Answer the best you can. It's giving you 20 seconds. You've got 4 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, 2. Let's see how we're doing. All right, 9 got it right, 1 got it wrong. That's all right. You guys are participating. That is awesome. I love seeing the answers. Look at that leaderboard. Woo! What is makerspace? Is it a house, a library, a business, or any place where you can create? What is a makerspace? Is it a house, a library? Oh, you guys answered that one fast. 10 out of 11 said it's any place where you can create. One of you thought it was a library. That's true. I've seen a makerspace in a library before. Totally get what you're thinking there. Good job. Nice. How many books has Julia circulated this year? Is it 50, 100, 150, or over 700 books for those 600 kids in that elementary school? Probably fewer distance learning actively, but over 700. Go, Julia. Woo! That was our last question. Let's see where our podium is. Third place is Hope. Woohoo! Way to go, Hope. You did great. Yes. McKenzie for second. And drum roll, please. Melanie is in first place. She got the early lead and she held on to it. Our runners up are Allie and Jill. Great job, guys. Everybody's a winner in Kahoot because everybody's participating. And then there is a next, and then it used to be set where it instantly gave me like an opportunity to invite feedback, get feedback, but now it's starting to tell me like how well people did. So maybe you guys can help me with that part.
Report too.
Yeah.
If you click view full report, I think that is a new feature this year because I haven't seen it in the past, and I think it is awesome. It gives me so much, like, I can know who is getting questions wrong because they're just not answering and who is answering them wrong, and it's really cool.
Class, oh, here, it's the summary, players, questions. It might still be working on pulling together the report for this last time because this is not our data. So, or maybe my, I don't know, maybe it's not the right login or something. That is like pretty much all I know about Kahoot, and I'm curious if it felt different to you guys as students than it did.
I want to say thank you. I love being able to see at the same time the student view and the teacher view. Like, that's how we learn the things. Thank you. And you are such a good moderator. You were like the best Kahoot moderator ever.
I sincerely have fun with it. I feel like a game show host. It's fun.
I am truly blessed to have her in my math class doing Kahoot. The students, like, it's a really good time. So, and it's always that upbeat. And she talks, you know, like we talk back and forth and do a lot of things where she corrects them on the next part. Oh, remember, you will. And like, it's a lot of teaching too. So there's a lot of great tools. So she's awesome.
Yeah.
Always that upbeat.
Hey, well, I'm looking at the time. It's 3:41 already, but we can share a couple more tools. Did you have anything else you wanted to say to wrap up, Tricia?
That was me trying to keep it fast. I talk way too much. Some people talk in bullet points, I talk in paragraphs.
No, that was really good. And we have so much expertise in the room right now. And
We do.
we're all ad-libbing and, showing extra tips and tricks. So that was perfect. That was perfect.
I hope it was helpful.
Yeah. Hey, so if we picked Flashcard Factory, we went over with our Pear Deck session, but if we did if you had a choice between Flashcard Factory, Gimkit, or Quizlet, which one are you most interested in? Gimkit? Do you all want to do Gimkit? Just because we don't really know what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it before. I have no idea.
I played it last year, so please bear with me. I haven't played it live with people since last year, so I should be sharing my screen. Let me move this over here. I'm just going to go to Gimkit. So I think everything that Tricia just shared about Kahoot, there are a lot of similarities with Gimkit. So you can all follow along with me and create an account. Ooh, I guess I haven't even played with Gimkit Inc. yet. Okay, so I'm already logged in, but if you go to Gimkit, Google Gimkit, in the upper right-hand corner, it'll say create account. You click on that and it's just sign in with your Google, like all the things. And then I just created this digital citizenship kit earlier today. So here's the teacher platform. So I clicked on new kit, and you can, select whatever from the menus. And now I just got stopped here because I never add a photo. I guess I didn't see that earlier today. And then when you're creating your kit, it will allow you to create your own answers and questions, or you can just pull from a pre-created one, which is what I did. Okay, maybe that's it. I had to select an image. Okay, so see how it says add a question or all these other things? So you can create your own questions just like we just did in Kahoot. So you put your question up there and the answers here, and make sure you put the correct one right there. Or if I go back, I just want to show you how I add from question bank. Is that what I did? And then I search for digital citizenship. And then yay, just like with Quizlet, when you go in to create vocabulary sets in Quizlet, you can pull from pre-populated sets. So then I just selected one of these sets, and I could hover over them and preview them before I actually selected them. So that was me just showing you creating your own or just pulling from a pre-created set. Now I'm just trying to get back to my stuff. Okay, so I just did what I just showed you. Ooh, there's that sample one I just created. So then here I can just click play live, and then there's 17 questions, and I have these options. So team mode, we're doing the classic. Here's where you give the time limit. So I'm gonna make it real short and say just 1 minute for each thing. Starting cash. So it's like you have cash that you can wager bets with. And then there you can set a handicap, music clapping, all these other fun features. Yeah, there's usually music with Kahoot too. I wonder if, Tricia, if your music wasn't playing just because we were screen sharing on Zoom, I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave all those settings and hit continue. And then on your end as a student, okay, now everyone go to gimkit.com/live, and you're gonna type in 54413. Okay, and while you're doing that, okay, thank you for putting that in the chat. Ooh, and it looks like just how you were able to in Kahoot, you can hover over and bump people out if you need to. So gimkit.com/live 54413. This is really going to help me see, what it looks like as a teacher and then with students. Okay, so I think
you can draw while you're waiting too.
I can draw on
We
this?
can. As the
Oh, you
team,
mean.
you can, but we can.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hit start game. We have 11 players. So we have funky music. Okay. We have 17 questions. So on your end, you're being asked questions. You can wager money, or you can just continue. If you get a question wrong, it's deducting cash. And then this is like our leaderboard on the, you're seeing my screen. We're seeing people take the lead, move up and down the board, leaderboard, just like in Kahoot, just like in Quizlet. I'm not entirely sure what this whole big $108 is. Is that how much the person in first place has? Anna, do you have $128? Okay. Okay, how was that as students? You saw my screen as the teacher, a lot of similarities to Kahoot and Quizlet, leaderboards, updates.
I couldn't see where you wagered extra money.
Were you playing on your desktop or on a tab on your phone? On the desktop? Does anyone else want to chime in with that?
Laptop.
How about Andreas or yeah, Andreas, were you wagering? Was anybody wagering cash today?
I thought it might be in the shop, but I never tried it because I was just rushing to answer the question.
It is shop, yes, that is. And then Andreas, were you saying something?
Yeah, it didn't have like a button. I think it was in the shop, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can buy stuff in the shop, like increase how much each is worth, but you have to have like $50 already.
Okay.
So.
I don't know, what are your overall reactions about Gimkit versus Kahoot right now? Would your students like it just because it's new and they haven't tried it out yet? Do you like Kahoot better because it's familiar or it functions better? I'm not sure.
So I thought it was interesting how if you're a faster reader, because those questions were longer, if you're a faster reader, you're going to answer faster. If you're a slower reader, which doesn't mean that you know any less. It just means you just process things at a slower rate. So that was a little bit of, like, oh,
right,
well,
because it was a minute to answer as many questions as you could versus Kahoot, it's one at a time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can set the different time limits, but I'm so glad that you mentioned that. I just pulled the question sets. I didn't create them, but when we're creating games, it's probably good to keep in mind, like, we need to keep it short and sweet because we don't want to disadvantage our striving readers.
So if you had a smaller amount of questions overall, like say you only had 10 in your whole set, and then you gave them 5 minutes total to answer, it wouldn't really matter how fast each person was. It would just matter how many they got right. And then you could take away that handicap for kids who are taking too long to read.
Okay.
I assume.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to mention, and of course, if I try to click around and find it right now, I'm not going to be able to, but look, you can view a report just like we were looking at the Kahoot dashboard, so you can see how everyone's doing, student overview. And this feature exists in Quizlet as well as Flashcard Factory as well, where you can pull the report at the end of the session to view people's data. And then somewhere in here is the feature where you can play live or it can be student paced. So someone was just talking about that student paced feature as well. So I'm just noticing that every game I pop into, it's like similar features, just a little different twist.
I think the thing I like about Kahoot from our area is that we're able to read the question aloud to them. And in our general population, that reading piece tends to be a piece that they have difficulty with, or we can explain that vocab because we'll break it down a little bit more. So that's So I think I'd lean towards the Kahoot piece for my population, the students on that piece, just because we can read it to them aloud, the questions.
Thank you for that. Thank you for playing Gimkit. Try it out. Like your kids, sometimes the kids like the new things, like they just like to experience and try something new, the novelty of it being new. When we first introduced Gimkit to our staff, that was like 2 years ago. I don't know, our staff would go crazy over Gimkit. I was never like the gambling, shopping component of it, like it didn't really do anything for me, but some people really like that. Okay, I am, you know, I always say we end at 3. Yeah, go ahead.
Does it require a subscription?
I think you can get a free version. When I signed up today, I have the pro 30-day trial.
Okay.
And, yeah, but there's a free version and a paid version that has more features, just like everything out there. I don't know, give it a shot. Why not? It's something new, functions very similar to a lot of the other things.
Something to consider too, like for this Gimkit, is that the questions are actually, like, you can see it in your own dialogue or your own window. Whereas in Kahoot, you have to see you have to see your teacher's shared screen. So for, like, if a student only has a Chromebook or, you know, a phone and they can't split screens very easily, that might be a benefit.
Yeah, thanks. That's a really good, yes, absolutely. What I have on my screen right now, I just wanted to mention this. It's 3:53. I always say we go from 3 to 3:45, and sometimes we end up going until 4, and I can show you another thing if you want. We did Flashcard Factory when we did the Pear Deck session, and it's super cool. I did want to mention that on Pear Deck, because I know we have a lot of Pear Deck users now, if you go to the platform, the teacher dashboard platform, and log in, they just released this week. So here's Pear Deck vocabulary. That's how you get to Flashcard Factory. And then they just released an announcement this week. And I thought it was right here, but I don't know where it went. They have a new feature where you can invite people into your, you can invite a co-teacher into your dashboard. So you and another teacher can be running the Pear Deck remotely, distance learning, which is really cool, at least from my perspective, because that's what I do. I'm a teacher, yet most of my time is spent co-teaching with you all. So it's nice to have both professionals together. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pop open Flashcard Factory, and if you have to leave right now, don't feel bad if you have to duck out, but I want to just show you all Flashcard Factory real quick, because it's the novelty. It's another new thing if you haven't done it yet with kids, and it works great in distance learning land. Okay, so here's me creating a new vocab set. Look, there's an import button, so I'm guessing I can pull vocabulary, you know, from a Google form or something. And Flashcard Factory used to be connected to Quizlet Live. Now it's linked up to Gimkit. If you played Flashcard Factory, okay, I can't type and talk at the same time. If you played Flashcard Factory last year, it exported everything to Quizlet, so you could create your Flashcard Factory flashcards together as a class and then zip them over to Quizlet. And now they changed that to Gimkit. So let's just try 2 terms: digital citizenship and makerspace. Excuse my punctuation, English teachers. And okay, so we're gonna play Flashcard Factory. So on your screen, you're gonna join. Let's see, make sure. So go to joinpd.com and type in that code, ALDBLQ. And I'll pop that into the chat real quick. ALDBLQ. And I can see that 2 workers have joined. And so when we get in here, Flashcard Factory is going to partner you up. Even though we're in distance learning, it's still going to partner you up together and it'll function great. Okay, I'm going to clock in. And then you're going to take turns. So I have on the day shift, Trisha and Alicia are your team, and then Melanie and Anna, you're a team, and Terry, you're solo, I guess. So we're going to go ahead and hit play. So now on your end as the students, one of you is being asked to draw a thing and the other person is being asked to write a definition for it. Okay, so just do your best and just take a minute or two to draw and type a definition and hit submit. And as you all are doing that, on my screen, the teacher screen, we're going to see your little flashcards start falling down onto our conveyor belt. And so, oh, there comes a flashcard from the blue team, and I can even see your little drawing, and I can see something written on it. So let's let everyone submit. Why don't you just try submitting both flashcards, and don't worry about your drawings or your definitions. Just, this is for the sake of practice. Ooh, I see another flashcard coming down on the conveyor belt. Okay, ooh, there comes another one. Good job, everybody. How's it feeling on your end as students? Interesting, clunky, cool? The kids with the touch screen Chromebooks love the drawing features. Anytime you can give them something to draw, they love that. Okay, I'm gonna give you about 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds to finish up your lovely drawings and definitions, just so I can show you the final phase and end by 4. Okay, I think we got a nice set of flashcards. So then at the bottom of my screen, teacher screen, where it says next phase, quality control, I hit that, and then as a class, we get to review the flashcards. Digital citizenship, being responsible online. This is a person and a computer. And then as the teacher, I mean, you can do this a number of ways with the class. Class, do you agree this is a great definition? Yeah. So I stamp it yes. Yay. Do not interrupt the speaker. That's a raised hand. Great job. Yes. Makerspace, your bed. Okay, so I mean, a makerspace could be in your bed. Do you want to see what happens when you say no to an answer? Not that I'm saying no to that answer, but it just stamps it no and doesn't put it in the final set. Any place to create. Okay, the kids love seeing their drawings, you know, together as a class. And then now, it'll tell you up here. So we had a tie between the day shift and the night shift, because you can see the little hats and their points up here. And then right here, you can hit print set. And look, those flashcards that kids just printed or created together, you could put these on your Google Classroom. And we just had a session on sketchnoting where Lauren talked about how we retain things when we attach images to the learning. So look at that. Kids will remember their own flashcards they created. And then export to Gimkit. So you can shoot this straight over to Gimkit and then use those flashcards to play a Gimkit game as well. And you used to be able to shoot them to Quizlet. Okay, we're at 4 o'clock. What questions do you have right now? Let me stop sharing my
I just want to make a comment about Pear Deck in general. I've been using it quite a bit, and I really like it for a lot of reasons, but one thing that is difficult is that you have to sign in with Google in order to use it, and a lot of the kids struggle doing that for some reason. Like, they know how to sign in, but they can't figure out where the pop-up window is, or it doesn't show up right on their Chromebooks, or they're using a phone and it doesn't work. Whereas like Kahoot and apparently Gimkit too, you just type in a code and you don't have to be logged into anything. And I think that because of that, Pear Deck kind of limits student engagement in a little way. So like the Flashcard Factory, like I don't get as many people signing into that as I do signing into Kahoot. So
thanks for mentioning that, because when I use Pear Deck with all the 8th grade digital citizenship classes, there were times where I'm like, come on, like I know I have 30 of you and I only have like 17 people signed in. And I'm like, oh, the second screen, not having a double monitor or having to like split your screen, the struggle is real for our students. Like that's hard. Thank you for making that comment. We are well over right now. I hope this was a good session. I think we all have really great Kahoot knowledge. Maybe we can sprinkle in a couple of new games, and please report back to me like how it's going on the things in your classes, or invite me in. I love coming into your classes to see the things live or to experience them with you. Okay, as always, thank you. I will put this video recording on our Google Classroom.